Right now at 5, storm damage across parts of the area has residents cleaning up and power crews working overtime.
And a couple of strong storms still possible today, but we are more concerned about growing flooding issues. So look at that forecast coming up.
As yesterday, rain wreaked havoc, causing parts of the city to flood.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's now Wednesday. It is April the 30th, the last day of the month.
Last day of April, yes.
We've had a very active severe weather season.
Certainly
and a very active April, which has been a bit unusual as well. And the other unusual side has been the tornadoes we've seen.
Right.
Are those QLCS tornadoes. They're the ones in the line where the warning time is not very great. They can spin up very quickly. In some cases, they could be on the ground before rotations even noted in the radar scan.
So dangerous. Yes.
That's made them a bit more dangerous across the area, and that's what our last 3 events have been. Today, we do still have the chance for some strong storms. The good news is our severe threat considerably lower than what we had yesterday, and now we switch gears to flooding. Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. You can see, of course, the roadways are wet. Some of us, we're right now kind of in a bit of a dry slot. We're in between batches of showers and thunderstorms. MoDOT camera 20th in range line looking pretty good. However, there are a number of roadways in the area that either are flooded completely or have a fair amount of water on them. So again, it's not just a cliched phrase we use. It's not something we do just to be silly. We're being absolutely serious. Turn around, don't drown. There were folks that lost their lives in Oklahoma just a few weeks ago from flooding. They tried to get through areas that were flooded and they were unsuccessful. Don't do it. You know, if you know your route is prone to flooding, we say it all the time, but in all honesty, if you know your route is prone to flooding, you've got to take an alternate route. Now, I know some of folks in some of these rural areas, you may not be able to get out of where you're at without going through flood water. So if you can work from home, do that. Otherwise, don't try and drive through this. It's not safe. It is very dangerous. You've got to be very careful. Here's a look at our flood warnings, our flood watches that continue through Thursday morning. Again, right now, we're kind of sandwiched between these showers and storms and our next batch of showers and storms, which is going to be coming up once again out of the Oklahoma area. So back toward Oklahoma City. And see, we've got showers and storms. Now, the radar scans don't reach that far. It's why you see these severe thunderstorm warnings, but it doesn't look like much. It's because the radar network that we're connected to doesn't go that far south. But that's also going to be the thing we have to watch, is the possibility of additional strong to low-grade severe storms. But that's some of the good news is the overall severe threat considerably lower. We do have a low tornado risk in the southern portion of our area. We also have that low hail risk and a low wind risk across a broader portion with just an elevated risk just barely clipping Benton County. So here's what we're looking at heading into the afternoon. We'll continue with scattered showers and thunderstorms. And again, some of these could be strong, low-grade severe. And as we just showed you, winds and hail are going to be the primary concern we have with any of the stronger storms. And we'll get pauses in the rain here and there, and then it'll start up again. And that rain's going to be heavy at times, leading to more flooding concerns through today. Temperatures this morning, not too bad, upper 50s and low 60s. It is a bit breezy. Well, the front has stalled out across the area. So if you're back in the northwestern portion of our area, you will have north winds gusting to 25. If you're southeast of the front, you'll have south winds gusting to 25. Scattered shower storms, heavy rain out there, at temperatures right around the low to mid 60s. We'll talk more about the rain chances, how much longer they're going to last, and how our weekend is shaping up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Residents in Newton County, Missouri are already starting recovery efforts following yesterday's storms. Across the area, there were fallen power lines, uprooted trees, downed limbs, and damaged buildings. KOAM Samantha Walker has the details.
Jill Bowman says she wasn't home when severe storms began to roll through Newton County.
I was working at Crowder College, and the lights started flickering and we lost power, and everybody went to the storm shelter, and we knew something was going on.
Around her work saw damage, but it wasn't until she got home that she would know if her house had been impacted.
The whole barn is gone. I mean, obviously the roof, it peeled everything back, blew it out. The rest is limbs, branches, that kind of thing. But our whole front yard, which of course we've been working on cleaning, was covered in all this debris.
She says she's lucky though. Her home was left nearly untouched, but neighbors nearby saw damage to their houses and roofs.
Our efforts were, first of all, making sure that everybody was okay, if anybody needed our assistance that way. And then second of all, those down power lines, trying to protect those to make sure people were safe.
Sheriff Matt Stewart says the department received reports of a few people trapped in their homes, but they were able to help get everyone out okay. He says at this time they're only aware of one person who received minor injuries, who was then transported to a nearby hospital.
Our neighbors seem to be okay. They keep saying the same thing. Lots of trees, lots of debris.
Now right here is a piece of sheet metal that came off her barn. She said some of these pieces went as deep as 18 inches into the ground, showing just how strong these storms were.
It could have been a whole lot worse. When you see sheet metal impale into the ground 18 inches deep, you think, oh my gosh, what would that have done to someone or, something.
Sheriff Stewart wants community members to keep safety in mind as they begin the recovery process, being mindful of downed power lines and debris.
The next thing to watch out for are those sharp objects that could be laying around in the yard and everything. Just be careful as they're moving around.
Bowman and her family, like many of those impacted, have already started the recovery process. She says neighbors and friends are offering to help in whatever way they can.
When I was leaving school, everybody said, hey, we have chainsaws, call us if you need anything. And it was just, I was inundated. So very blessed.
Reporting in Newton County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Newton County Emergency Management says the damaged areas are from west of Neosho to Fairview, Stark City, and Newtonia. And storm damage in Miami left trees, power lines, and power poles down across the city. The front door and window of Shoe Sensation was damaged during the weather event. Crews continued working to clear debris and restore power. Residents are urged to use caution around damaged areas until cleanup is complete. And severe flooding caused major issues in Pittsburgh, stranding motorists and uprooting trees. One tree fell on a home as heavy rain swept through the area. First responders worked to assist drivers and address damage across the city. And of course, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the app store of your choice. Just search for the KOAM News app. Much of Monette, Missouri is in recovery mode from Tuesday's powerful storms. Adam Woodbray talked to homeowners who are glad it wasn't worse.
It can be rebuilt. Nothing can't be replaced.
People in Monette surveying the damage and cleaning up after a powerful storm rolled through Tuesday morning.
I was at home in my shelter about 2 miles south of here. So, yeah, it was quite the storm. You could see the wind just swirl in different directions.
Ken Madison opened this storage unit on the west side of town about 3 years ago. What was once a brand new facility, now a pile of debris. He said he found out what happened about 10 minutes after the storm hit. Now he's here helping his renters recover what they can.
Yeah, some of the little personal stuff that they keep in there, they come and got. I'd called everybody and told them I'd help them get their stuff out, so they're here one at a time.
In other parts of town, the chainsaws are out cutting up trees that have fallen over. This one suspended by the power lines.
We had gotten a phone call from a friend saying there was a tornado coming. I checked radar scope on my phone. It showed the tornado in Neosho. And so we were preparing to go to the shelter. And then the storm came.
Stephen Bergeron said much of the damage to his property happened before he even left to go to the storm shelter. The tree on top of his house isn't even his. It belongs to his neighbor.
By the time we got in the car to go, this had all happened. I was in the house. I heard a really loud bang, which must have been this, and a crack, which probably was that.
And as he and his neighbors wait for the power to come back on, the cleanup continues, but he's grateful that he and others are safe.
God was very gracious to us, and we were praying, and we got to the shelter okay. We got back okay, but we have this to deal with now, and it's a matter of time, that's all.
Now, so far, there have not been any reports of injuries in Monette. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. 3 Frontenac Raiders signed letters of intent to play their sport at the next level. Plus, cardinals from around the world are gathering together to choose the next pope. We'll have more from the Vatican. And Chris will share what our storm chances look like. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, it was an exciting day yesterday at Frontenac High School. The Raiders have a very strong senior class of student athletes, and now a few of them are headed to the next level. 3 Frontenac High School seniors signed letters of intent. Nathan Troth is headed to the University of St. Mary to continue his swimming career. Skylar Hutchinson signs with Labette Community College for softball, and Dominic Ricciardi commits to Barton Community College for wrestling.
Cassie will hold you accountable for anything, and she'll make sure you're on your game. She won't let you have a bad attitude. She'll make sure you're up and you'll get the next play. So all the coaches really pushed me really hard to be where I'm at today.
Teammates I've met, when I toured there, I had lunch with some of them, not all of them, the teammates that I would be with, and they all seemed extremely nice to me, which usually they always are nice at first. I hope that they stay nice.
When we got Coach Lappings, that really helped me because I had a good partner in the room, and he's also my coach, so he could teach me things as we're wrestling and going live and stuff like that. And obviously having Coach Aiken, Coach Diesel, and Coach Meisner and all them guys helped me and just pushed me through this injury and just this season.
2025 MIAA softball tournament gets started today on the campus of Fort Hays State, and that means the all-conference honors were released. And plenty of local players from Missouri Southern and Pitt State receiving all MIAA honors, starting with the first team all-conference, which includes Kiki Pickens, Katie Gray, and Bailey Dillon from Southern. In addition to being on the first team, Pickens was named MIAA Pitcher of the Year, and Dillon was Freshman of the Year. From Pitt State, Heather Arnett and Courtney Story both were featured on the first team. Fellow Gorillas Ava Laurent and Caden Trokem receive second team honors. Gray receives a gold glove for first base, and the same is true for Trokem at third. And then catcher Kate Thurman and outfielder Kylie Jacks from Missouri Southern, and Aiden Brown, Elena Rushing, and Amaya Snyder from Pittsburgh State received honorable mention all-conference honors. So here's a look at the bracket for the 2025 MIAA softball tournament. Lions are the number 4 seed. Gorillas are the 2 seed. Both of them have today off. Southern is set to face 5 seed UCM on Thursday at 1:30. PSU will face the winner between Missouri Western and Nebraska Kearney. A month and a half ago, the Mid-America Baseball League announced Fort Scott would be home to its 7th and newest franchise, with its first season being the summer of 2026. As part of that announcement, the league explained the team does not have a name yet and welcomes suggestions from the public. And yesterday, they announced 6 finalists for the team names. They are Cavalry, Dragoons, Marmots, Sentinels, Saber Rattlers, and Hay Balers. According to a release, these 6 names stood out for their originality and connection to Fort Scott. The final round of voting is underway right now at fortscottbaseball.com. Well, still to come, bad care for your teeth could lead to overall health problems. Well, the latest in Health Watch Plus. We got a break in the rain, more showers, more storms, more heavy rain on the way. The latest when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:18 now on this Wednesday morning. Taking a look in that darker green, we have that flood watch across the area, continues through Thursday morning. And then those other green colors, we have flood warnings. So we've got aerial flood warnings for Crawford, Barton, Jasper, and Cherokee counties. And then we've got river flood warnings out there as well into northeastern Vernon County. This runs through early Thursday morning. It's the Osage River at Taborville. And so the stage is at 24 feet. At 25, the floodwaters can affect the Shell Osage Conservation Area, the Old River Road north of Shell City, and Lost Creek west of Shell Lake. So that's just one And of course, the aerial flood warnings are indicating we've got a number of roads that are going to be potentially flooded, especially some of those rural routes and back roads. We have a flash flood warning you can see in the Newton-McDonald County out there because of the heavy rain. This is going to continue until 7:15 this morning. We also have river flood warnings as well until late Friday evening for the Neosho River near Commerce, for the Spring River near Quapaw, and then additional aerial flood warnings out there for parts of Craig, Delaware, and Ottawa counties. So again, this is very serious on the flooding. Turn around, don't drown. You do not know the condition of the road that's covered by water. You don't know how deep that water is, and the water can very easily sweep your vehicle away at a moment's notice. So just take an alternate route. And as I mentioned, if you can't, hopefully you have a job that's going to be a little understanding that it's too dangerous for you to try and get in to work through those floodwaters out there. And of course, with today's technology, maybe you can work remotely. Now, right now, again, our area pretty well dry. We're in between a couple of batches of rain. We've got some showers and storms, some of them a little bit on the strong side, rolling well off to our east. But what we're watching is what's going to ultimately come up out of Oklahoma. Now, okay, we're there. Now the radar data is filling in. So we do have some severe thunderstorms down along the Red River. That is going to stay to our south. The bulk of the severe activity, the more widespread severe activity, will remain south of our area. But we do have the chance for some strong storms in parts of the area. We do have a low tornado risk in our southern counties out here. The greater concerns are going to be with some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds out there as well as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours. So this is what it looks like on Future Track. Again, we have our lull right now, but more scattered showers, thunderstorms filling in out of Oklahoma. Again, a couple of these could be strong, low-grade severe, but thankfully nothing like what we saw yesterday. But the reason we deal with this for so long is that frontal boundary almost stalls out on us. And that's why also we have the flood watches for the southeastern 2/3 of our area, because that's where the bulk of the heavy rain and thunderstorms will be. By this time, roughly tomorrow morning, more showers, storms. Now through the day Thursday, it's kind of hit and miss. We may have some slightly more scattered activity, but the thunderstorms we do see could produce heavy rainfall that could ultimately result in more flooding. Then we go into Friday morning. We finally start to get to a close, but we've got to get through some additional thunderstorms, maybe a strong storm or two, and the potential for some additional flooding before we start to clear out as we head into Friday afternoon, just a few isolated showers remaining. Through the morning hours, again, thunderstorms will start building right back in out there, so this is a very brief break, just kind of hanging out in the low 60s. Our highs today similar to what we ultimately got to yesterday afternoon, as we were going to hang out in the low to mid 60s for most of us, maybe some upper 60s here and there. Breezy. Behind the front, north winds gusting to 25. Ahead of it, south winds gusting to 25. Breezy again tonight into tomorrow. Low 70s tomorrow on Friday. A little cooler into the weekend, at least for Saturday, but we'll have an opportunity to dry out finally. And then we, unfortunately, have to start watching next week's thunderstorm chances, as we could see additional strong to severe thunderstorms across the 4 states. Let's check your forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning, the World Health Organization warns the risk of measles is high in the Americas. Now, this as a multi-state outbreak in the U.S. reaches at least 781 cases. The outbreak spans Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and possibly Kansas. Cases tied to this outbreak account for more than 80% of the total measles cases reported in the U.S. this year. The vast majority of cases are in Texas. The multi-state outbreak has sent nearly 100 people to the hospital, and there are 3 confirmed deaths. None of them were vaccinated. Florida is set to become the second state to ban fluoride from municipal drinking water. The Florida Farm Bill prohibits certain additives in drinking water that effectively bans fluoride. State lawmakers passed the bill Tuesday, and it now goes to Governor Ron DeSantis for his signature. Many cities have added fluoride to their treated drinking water for decades to help protect teeth from cavities. That was due to recommendations from both the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the World Health Organization. Fluoride is a naturally occurring mineral found in soil, rocks, and water. It is also a byproduct of fertilizer production. Now, in March, Utah became the first state to ban fluoride in public drinking water. Well, it helps to prevent cavities and gum disease, but caring for the health of your mouth is also important for your overall health. Mandy Gaither has more on the impact bad oral health has on your entire body.
It allows you to eat and to speak, but your mouth needs care, and that starts with your teeth.
We always say only take care of the ones that you want to keep.
Periodontist Dr. Sasha Ross with Cleveland Clinic says oral disease may not cause any pain, so many times it's not treated until reaching a more serious stage. Some of the most common diseases and conditions that affect oral health are cavities, which is tooth decay, gum diseases, oral cancers, and tooth loss. It can also impact overall health.
There's many studies that link your oral health to conditions like cardiovascular disease, stroke, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, in women, preterm low birth weight babies.
In the U.S., 57% of children and youth aged 12 through 19 have had cavities in their permanent teeth. As for adults, 90% have had a cavity. Experts say the best way to prevent decay and protect the health of your mouth is by brushing teeth at least twice daily, flossing every day, limiting foods and drinks that are high in added sugar, and getting a checkup and professional cleaning at least yearly.
It's super important to find a dentist and a dental hygienist that you work well with, and to not be afraid to go in and take care of your mouth.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, Dr. Ross recommends using a mouth rinse each day and investing in an electric toothbrush with a soft or extra soft toothbrush head and aiming it near your gum line, not just your teeth. That's it for some of today's health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got, at least for now, a quiet start to the day. There is a number of flood warnings across the region and flooded roadways. Make sure you are planning alternate routes the next couple of days. We'll have another look at your forecast, talk about more rain chances on the way when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, two area colleges team up to create a new path to success for agriculture students in Southwest Missouri.
And things are calm for the time being. However, more showers, more storms, and flooding concerns in the area. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a celebration of life and legacy as local hospitals honor organ donors who've made the ultimate gift.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Wednesday. It's April 30th, last day of this month. Three severe weather events this month, which is just it's wild for this region. I mean, we're entering severe weather season, of course, but we've had 3 severe weather events. All 3 of them have involved tornadic storms. Which is just kind of crazy. And unfortunately, as we roll into next week, we have more severe weather potentially on the way. And we'll talk about that in a moment, but we've still got to get through the rest of this week. And we're going to start, of course, with our look outside in downtown Pittsburgh. The roads are very wet. We had severe flooding is what was reported in parts of Pittsburgh yesterday. My drive up here, the roads that I take, the back roads around CJ to get up here, not flooded necessarily, but water on one whole side of the road. It's a 2-lane road. So we're talking like Ivy Road, north of CJ. Parts of it, one half of the road was underwater, the other half was dry. That's what you've got to watch out for. There's going to be a lot of that kind of flooding. There's going to be a lot of rural flooding of these back roads, side roads. There's going to be urban flooding. My drive through Joplin itself on a hill on 26th Street. All that water's flowing down, and parts of 26th Street were underwater as well. Not completely covered, but still. So you got to turn around, don't drown, like we talk about every single time. It's not just a cliched phrase we use. We're absolutely serious. We know, just a few weeks ago, we had folks in Oklahoma lose their lives, including young kids, because these folks tried to get through flooded areas. It's dangerous. Just don't. MoDOT camera again real quick, just looking all right. Here's a look. What we've got, the flood watches continue in that darker green through tomorrow morning. We have flood warnings that include rivers, streams, creeks, and aerial flood warnings, which means we're experiencing widespread flooding concerns. Again, just a quick note, my drive-in, Murphy Boulevard, Northwest Murphy Boulevard at Maine, it's closed. That low water crossing over there, that road is closed. So you've got to just be smart, be safe, be careful. as we deal with the flooding. Again, right now we're in between a couple of things. We've got thunderstorms to our east. We've got more showers and storms off to our west. Those will continue to build in, and you can see them kind of growing out here, and they'll push off to the north and east and eventually roll in. There are severe thunderstorm warnings south of I-40. The greatest severe threat will remain south of us, but we could get a strong storm or two up here. We do have a low tornado risk out there. Additionally, we have a low hail risk and a low wind risk. So we're not talking anything like what we saw yesterday, but some strong to low-grade severe storms will be possible. Those chances will be best as we head into the afternoon and evening hours, as you can see here on Future Track. And of course, then we also have to deal with that heavy rainfall out there as well. So again, today, highs right around the low to mid 60s, maybe some upper 60s here and there, and winds gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. We're having another look at your forecast. We'll take a closer look at these flood warnings and talk about how our weekend is shaping up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a wastewater treatment plant in Pittsburgh is back to normal operations. The city of Pittsburgh notified the Kansas Department of Health and Environment that a failed inlet pipe has been replaced. Now, we reported last week the plant had experienced operational problems due to an underground pipe failure. Now, that failure led to concerns about elevated levels of E. coli in Cow Creek. And a couple of area schools have teamed up for an educational opportunity. Missouri Southern and Crowder College formalized the 2+2 pathway for students pursuing a degree in agriculture business. Now, this will allow students to complete 2 years at Crowder, followed by 2 years at Missouri Southern to earn a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture Business.
We at Crowder, we start engaging with students as young as junior high in many of the federal programs that we have. We partner strong with area high schools within career and technical education and in their ag programs. And then we've had our ag program at Crowder College for decades. We have several hundred acres for farms. And so this provides us more local opportunity for students to transfer to continue that career pathway into agriculture.
The event took place on the campus of Missouri Southern. Well, Frank Fletcher Subaru donated more than $30,000 to Ronald McDonald House Charities of the 4 states during a check presentation. The donation comes from the 2024 Subaru Share the Love event, which allows customers to direct contributions with each vehicle purchase. The Joplin dealership also added funds through employee donations, bringing their 11-year total to more than $200,000.
It's the highest purpose we have as human beings, is to give back to others in need. And we have the opportunity to do that every month and then once a year in a big check. But just being able to do that every day, it's the reason you should be waking up. It's exciting for us.
The money will support local programs that provide lodging and support to families with seriously ill children. Well, April is Donate Life Month, and a group of medical organizations joined forces to honor those who've given the gift of life. The dinner celebration in Joplin started with a prayer and a donor memorial presentation. There are more than 100,000 men, women, and children on the national transplant waiting list. According to organdonor.gov, every day 17 people die waiting for an organ transplant. Last night's event celebrated the lives of loved ones who chose to make a difference.
You know, letting all the healthcare workers know that, we appreciated them. I think when the time was happening, I was so numb that I really didn't get the chance to appreciate, everybody that was involved in making, it happen. So just thanking everybody that was there for me and supported and made the process go much smoother.
Mercy Hospital hosted the dinner celebration, while Freeman Health Systems, Saving Sight, and Midwest Transplant Network also joined the ceremony. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps, as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A speed record attempt takes to the sky as a speedboat goes airborne. Plus, the Trump administration looks to be easing tariffs on some auto manufacturers We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, cardinals from around the world met yesterday for a general congregation to discuss the conclave that will see the next pope elected. About 135 cardinals under the age of 80 from all corners of the world are eligible to take part in the vote for the next head of the 1.4 billion member church, which is beset by concerns over its finances and divisions over doctrine. The previous two conclaves, held in 2005 and 2013, lasted just 2 days, but there have been suggestions that things might take longer this time. Well, the trial for a woman accused of murdering 3 relatives and attempting to kill began Tuesday in Australia. 50-year-old Erin Patterson has pleaded not guilty. She is accused of murdering her former in-laws at a family lunch by serving beef Wellington laced with poisonous mushrooms in July 2023. The deaths shocked the small town of Leongatha in southern Victoria and has since drawn international attention. Well, Russian President Vladimir Putin has declared a 3-day ceasefire in Ukraine. The truce will be from May 8th to May 11th. The date coincides with World War II commemorations. Putin called on Ukraine to do the same. Russia has previously rejected a U.S. proposal for a 30-day ceasefire that was agreed to by the Ukrainian government. The Trump administration easing some auto tariffs, the move aimed at increasing domestic production. Sherelle Hubbard has more on the plan.
President Donald Trump choosing Michigan for his Day 100 rally. The state was key to his victory last fall and is key to the U.S. auto industry, with 1 in 5 jobs there linked to the auto industry.
A lot of auto jobs coming. Watch what's happening.
His new executive order and proclamation to ease auto tariffs would continue the 25% tariff on imported cars and put a new 25% tariff on auto parts into effect this weekend, as previously announced. They also allow reimbursements for domestic car producers importing car parts. And they consolidate auto-related tariffs.
They all want to come back to Michigan and build cars again. You know why? Because of our tax and tariff policy.
While the 3 large U.S. automakers, General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, formerly Chrysler, thanked Trump for the softer stance on auto tariffs, not everyone is thrilled about the president's policies. On his 100th day of the Trump administration, various surveys and polls show growing pessimism amongst U.S. consumers, with much of the consumer sentiment hinged on Trump's volatile tariff policy.
In these 100 days, what has gone up? Cost of groceries, up. Energy costs, up. Cost of clothes, of homes, of cars, up. What has dropped? Your retirement and 401ks, down.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The plan, according to White House officials, is for tariffs to be phased out over time as foreign automakers move more manufacturing to the U.S. That's a look at World Watch. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:46 now on this Wednesday morning. We're going to start with a quick look and a quick tour on some of our flood advisories and warnings we have out there. The dark green again is a flood watch that still runs through tomorrow morning. We're going to start first. We have aerial flood warnings in Crawford, Cherokee, Jasper, and Barton counties. This means that we could experience flooding in any of these locations, especially rural roads. Some urban street flooding is going to be possible. And of course, any low-lying routes or low water crossings will very likely be flooded. Heading up north into the northeastern portions of Vernon County, we've got this flood warning that is for the Osage River at Taborville. And this runs again until Thursday morning. Then we'll head down south. We have a flash flood warning, as you can see blinking, for parts of Newton and northwestern McDonald counties. It does include Neosho and Goodman as well. And so this is for the flood potential that we have down there. Then additionally, we have another river flood warning. That is for the Neosho River near Commerce. This runs until late Friday evening. We also have one for the Spring River near Quapaw, and then we have broader aerial flood warnings for a good chunk of southern Craig County, northern Delaware County, and southern Ottawa County out there. So again, I know we say it 100 times, we can't emphasize it enough, and I keep referencing the tragic situation in Oklahoma just not long ago, where people lost their lives, children lost their lives because people tried to make it through floodwaters because they thought they could. You can't, all right? Don't even try. You do not know how deep that water is on the roadway ahead of you. On top of that, you don't know the condition of the roadway ahead of you. You don't know if it's been washed out under that or if it's taken damage or you can get stuck. Just don't do it. Turn around, don't drown. Now, right now, we're again in a bit of a lull. We do have thunderstorms off to our east, some of those now becoming severe, but this is off to our east. What we're watching is this activity that's stretching along 35 down toward Oklahoma City. So around Ponca City, just outside of the Tulsa area, around Oklahoma City Metro. None of this is severe, but a little further to the south and west, around Lawton and Wichita Falls, that activity is severe. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest severe risk is going to stay to our south, because once we put this in motion, I know it moved back up here, but we'll drag it back down here. Once we put all this in motion, you can see that these severe storms are almost tracking due east. They're going to stay south of I-40, but these storms could pick up a little bit, and we do have the chance of a strong to low-grade severe storm, especially in the eastern portions of our area. So down south, we do have a low tornado risk, but again, eastern half of the area, we've got a low hail risk, and that's the good news. All these risks are low. I mean, there's a very slight elevated wind risk in parts of Benton County, but the bulk of us, it's a low risk, but we're still talking the potential for some hail damaging wind gusts, and that will increase as we head into the afternoon. That's going to be our best window to see a strong or low-grade severe thunderstorm, but again, nothing like yesterday. Future track again showing where we'll have those scattered showers and storms. The biggest culprit, or the biggest thing we're going to have to face, really, that's more serious is the flooding concerns now. As the shower storms continue into Thursday, may get a few breaks on Thursday, but the storms that we do see could produce very heavy rainfall, which could lead to additional flash flooding concerns. By Friday morning, one more round of showers and storms, maybe a strong storm or two with that activity, and then as we head into Friday afternoon and evening, we finally begin to dry out. Be hovering in the low 60s through the morning hours while those scattered storms returning. We showed you on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. They're knocking on our door. Highs today, not moving much from there, right around the mid, maybe some upper 60s. We'll go low 70s, so it's also going to be breezy today, tonight, and tomorrow. And we'll go the low 70s Thursday and Friday. Storms will wrap up for us. Not bad Saturday, a little cool, but not bad at all. And we'll dry out for this weekend. And then next week, we warm back up and we have more thunderstorm chances. And unfortunately, next week, we've got to watch the potential for additional strong to severe thunderstorms. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
An 8,000 horsepower speedboat goes airborne during a record attempt, and a fireball is caught streaking across the midday sky. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Watch an 8,000 horsepower speedboat go from flying across the water to flying for real during a speed record attempt gone wrong. The incredible incident that saw the high-performance boat flip several times after hitting 210 miles per hour unfolded at a competition on Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Video from inside the craft's cockpit shows the operators brace themselves as the boat went airborne before crashing back down on the water. The pair suffered non-life-threatening injuries and were taken to a hospital for evaluation. The Freedom One racing team later said everyone was safe and in good condition. No word yet on if the boat hit its speed record target before taking to the skies. Another high-flying spectacle, this one caught on cam in Alaska. Did you see it? A trooper's dash cam captured a bright fireball streaking behind some clouds and across the skies just north of Anchorage. Another car's camera caught a clearer view as the luminous object made its brief broad daylight appearance. The fireball, most likely a meteor, may have been bringing up the rear of this year's Lyrid Meteor Shower, an annual stellar event that occurs every April as the Earth passes through a stream of comet dust. Finally, this last heads-up display is one whale of a wind-whipped day. At the 21st Annual Morro Bay Kite Festival in California, festive floating crafts of all shapes and sizes glided high as looky-loos flocked and gawked at the wuthering sights. And can you blame them? You could do much worse for a serene view than a day at the beach with a kite in the clear blue. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Stick around, we'll be right back. The Southeast Kansas Special Olympics Youth Track and Field event hit the Blaster Center at PSU yesterday. More than 240 athletes under the age of 21 from more than 20 area schools attended the event with the help of more than 140 volunteers for a day of competition and camaraderie.
And we've got a bit of a break between showers and storms. We got thunderstorms to our east. We have more showers and storms working in from our west. And right now, at least momentarily, we're dry. But we do have a number of flood warnings across the area because we got a lot of heavy rain from yesterday, overnight, and into this morning. So remember, turn around, don't drive. You know your route takes you through a flood-prone area. Find an alternate route. If you can't get through, hopefully you've got an understanding job that won't try and force you to drive through these floodwaters because it's just not safe. Thunderstorms will resume. In fact, they're knocking on our door right now to the west. Heavy rain will be possible, held not in the low 60s through the morning. Could get a strong storm or two as we head into the afternoon, but nothing like what we saw yesterday. Our primary concerns with any stronger storms will be small hail and gusty winds. We'll go right around the mid to upper 60s out there. We'll continue shower storms overnight back into the upper 50s to right around 60. But more showers and storms scattered through the day Thursday. They'll come to an end by Friday afternoon. Get a chance to dry out this weekend and start to warm up again with more storms next week. We'll be back with more right after this.